Hello everyone, Namaste. My name is Luke Elijah. Thank you for watching this video. Well, I have two special guests here with me today who just flew in from Kuala Lumpur to be here. Thank you very much, Daniel, Nilon and Ahana Lara. Right? Daniel's from Perth, Australia, right?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, Australia, and Ahana is a Singaporean. And they're both the co-founders of the Sci-Meta project as well as A Simple Path.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you for being here with us. Could you share with us a little bit about your history, your background, how you guys got started, how you guys even met, right? Let's start with Hannah.
All right. Well, for the Sci-Meta project, I actually come from meditation background, and I had a book which was shifting into Tao, and based on that, I was doing workshops, which related to energy flows in the body and the different fields we make. And I took this workshop over in 2012 to Australia.
Yes.
And I was doing that, and Daniel actually came to my workshop.
He was one of your workshop attendees.
He was a participant, and he came very skeptical because he was coming from the science background.
Yes.
But when he was in the workshop and I was doing the flows of the body and how the masculine and the feminine energy flows and how from the heart the source energy is given out and creates the electromagnetic field, he said that's what he does in his circuits in his lab. And he was doing these experiments based on that. So that's how I went to his lab. We started looking at speaking. I was speaking a different language, he was speaking a different language, but it was all actually speaking the same thing about the quantum nature of our universe and the universal laws. So that's how we came together and created the Sci-Meta project, and then 2 years later created Simple Path.
I see. Daniel, how did you get started with your spiritual work? How did this Sci-Meta project get involved?
First, I'd like to talk about the science. Initially, when I was 20, I'd seen some work of Nikola Tesla.
Yeah,
and I was
awesome.
very inspired, and he became my idol.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know so much more about that work that I took up renewable energy or alternative energy as a hobby, and then enjoyed it that much that I went to university to study engineering as well. So I've been researching since I'm 20, and for the last 13 years I've been researching renewable energy technology. And there become a point in 2012 where I've been asked to comment on some forums on, could I talk about something from a spiritual perspective with what I'm doing with my circuits. Because I've seen that there was a relationship. And obviously this got me intrigued. And it was Nikola Tesla I was reading something that he was inspired by what Walter Russell was doing with meditation. So I had to go and check it out for myself. And then, so be it, I thought I'd check it out. Ended up in her workshop. And even before that, I was commenting on some forums, on some posts about how the flows of energy, the Fibonacci series, the golden mean, how all that stuff was related and how we can relate that back to science.
The
fractals, all the quantum nature of the universe. And I found it very intriguing, and I wanted to know, what can I contribute? So when I was going to the workshop there, I was saying that, what you're talking about in metaphysics or spirituality is very scientific, but I said the only difference is the terminologies we use. So I encouraged Ahana to come and check out what I do with my experiments, and then I learned a lot more about the spiritual side of it and the way that energy flows in the body. And to me, energy is energy. It's just people want to use their own terminology or grade it, put it in a certain category. And I just love to research. So it opened up a whole new world because people have been harassing me to present and go and talk about what I've been doing for a long time. And I was with stuff on Nikola Tesla's work and motors, but it opened up whole new possibilities about combining science and metaphysics together. And that's where the name came about. It was actually merging science and metaphysics, and I'm like, all this stuff's way too long. Sci-Meta, and just shorten it as much as possible.
It's a beautiful name.
And then we added project to it as well, because to me it's a project. It's something that's constantly evolving, and it's something which at the end of the day it's bridging the gap between the two worlds and make practical applications. We either in the form of presentations to help people with theory, and also practical experiments or devices that people can use in either energy generation or for healing.
And I just want to add that one of the projects that really brought us together was the 0-point energy work that he was doing. That's the radiant energy work that he's doing. And I was also teaching about source energy and how to, bring that into your Merkaba. So that work actually became our sort of like a pilot or, sort of a center of all the work that we started doing in the Sci-Meta project and thereon.
Yeah, science and spirituality are really one. You guys are marrying these two supposedly distinct disciplines, but you're actually finally bridging the gap, as you say. And a rose by any other name will smell as sweet. Like you say, some people have different forms of words to call energy. The prana, chi, but it's all the same. It's all energy, it's all source. And for people who do not know what 0-point energy is, could you perhaps briefly give us the lowdown what it is about?
There's a lot of misconceptions about 0-point energy, but the easiest way to people to understand 0-point energy or clarify it, every time we heat up a particle, in theory it moves faster.
Yes.
So once you heat a particle to a certain temperature, it'll move very fast. So conversely, if you take all the energy or heat out of a particle down to what they call 0 degrees Kelvin, which is minus 273 degrees Celsius, it shouldn't have any energy left. However, that's not the case. When they did this, they found that there were still vibrations or oscillations left inside. So they had to coin the phrase for it, and that's where the term 0-point energy comes from. And now that we understand a lot more about quantum physics, energy, you hit the nail on the head. You can call it chi, prana, life force, you can call it whatever you want. But it's really just dimensional energy or energy from the universe. And that's what you would call 0-point energy. It's the energy that's left over where there shouldn't be any energy present.
And that's how we also explain in spirituality is when you are, bringing the masculine and feminine energy together, you come to a point of complete neutrality. It's actually not empty. That's where all of the information comes through. That's where, your connection to higher soul comes through. That's where all of your chi and prana just increases or enhances the energy in the body. So we saw that correlation, and it was so beautifully done in science and in spirituality, and thought that would be a great project to start with.
Yeah, I'm glad someone did it, because I've always been intrigued by Nikola Tesla and all that he does with free energy and about sustainability. And this is what we really need right now as we move into this golden age, and the world and the planet Gaia has suffered a lot, right, because of the exploitations of human beings. And I always wondered, how can I contribute? What can I do? Because I'm very left-brain, the opposite of you. I can't do the scientific, mathematical stuff. I don't understand it, right? So I come from more of an intuitive, more emotional, creative perspective. How can someone like me, with no scientific knowledge, what can I do what can I do to assist in this free energy movement, or what can I do personally to? Is it possible for me to say build some free energy apparatus or find tools to start using and implementing some of these resources that's already available now?
Okay.
Yeah.
The simple answer would be yes. Look at magnetic fields, and just to clarify, everyone understand that and move forward. See, when people think of sustainability, they're looking at wind, water, and sun. These are the three main ones that everyone looks at. But also you got to look at radio waves or magnetic fields. So Nikola Tesla's greatest contribution to the world was what he done with magnets and also frequency. And when we measure what you call magnetic flux density, they actually measure it in Teslas. And still to this day, I've never met anybody or researched anybody that actually understands frequency or magnetism like Nikola Tesla. And he knew even then that there's constant radio waves coming from the universe at all times. And an easy way for everyone to understand this is they've got a thing called a crystal radio set, which essentially is a free energy device, if you want to look at it in them terms. And what it is an antenna. It's a little discrete circuit, and then you ground the antenna to the ground, or the other part of the circuit to the ground. You can put in a little earpiece and pick up radio AM stations. And this is when I was 20 when I first done this, and it just changed my paradigm, changed my world. That I'm like, wow, there's that much energy in the universe that we don't even need to use input power. We can just tap into the radio waves, the cosmic waves, call it what you want, and all that energy is around us. So
it's
really
free and
that's
abundant.
It is.
It's just how do you harness it? How do you harness it?
Okay, easy way is look at either the magnetic fields. Magnetic motors are probably the most common one that people look at, but to me, I think the big future innovations which will benefit mankind will be in the form of not just magnetic fields and radio waves, but capturing them with certain antennas. So you can scale that idea up. A guy by the name of Moray King was doing that, and that's what he was actually doing. Finding how he could actually sit there. Sorry, T. Henry Moray. I might have to edit that. So T. Henry Moray was a great enthusiast of Nikola Tesla's work. And he found that with a certain arrangement with an antenna and using vibrations, you could actually extract or harness all the energy from the cosmos, which is exactly what Tesla was doing. He found that when you actually get the frequency right, you can actually harness or extract all this energy from the universe and use it in the form of radio waves and turn that into power to run your lights, power your motors, power your computers, our everyday lives.
I think what is a very easy way to start for anybody is to actually understand the concepts. So what's within is without, you're
As
creating
we
your
so without, yes.
you're creating your reality, what's above, so below. We know this, but as you understand these concepts of magnetism, frequency, this is what is happening to us all the time. If we understand it and we start implementing it out in ourselves, we become sustainable. We understand the concept of sustainability, which is a natural cycle, and then we start utilizing it in the outside reality as well. We automatically will be, in resonance to how we are feeling. That's how we use resources. That's how we live. That's how we create. So if you can understand, I think a simple way would be just to understand these concepts, learn about it, and implement it within yourself. And then that you start creating your reality based on that.
So you guys actually have a Sci-Meta website and blog that educates the public about what you just spoken in an in-depth way where they can have more details, right?
Yes, we have the website, also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, all the same things, Sci-Meta project, Twitter is by the same name as well. And what I like to do is every time that I'm doing the latest work that I'm doing, I throw it online. Recently we were just doing work with the youth. I'd been asked to go and talk to a bunch of kids about sustainability and to educate them on what sustainable living is, what is sustainability, and how can they learn more about the environment and reduce our footprint. And also teaching kids about electronics, because to me, I get very inspired with the youth of today because they're going to be the future. So if we can inspire them at a young age and show them what zero-point energy is, how to use these new devices and new technology, that's going to be the forerunner to how we make it a better world and shape the future to one which is better for everyone in harmony with the universe, with nature.
So in a way,
and we also do. There are two streams of Sci-Meta project. One is energy generation, so we are doing a lot of projects with other innovators to really work on
the
vortex
research.
the research.
Yeah.
So and we will start bringing that research out in 2015 through a membership on our website. We are also doing healing, working with alternative healers, sound healers, especially sound healers, because frequency, light sound frequency, we are working with that. And his radiant energy device. So bridging all of that. So we are doing a program called Discover the Power to Self-Heal. We've done it in Malaysia. We are taking it to Australia. So we'll finally, I think, come up with CDs. That's what we've decided, that we'll actually put that out. So that gives a base for anybody who's any kind of modality to start looking into the principles behind healing. And so that is going to be one of the first things that we'll do. Connect all of the modalities to its core.
yes.
And really talk about healing in that space.
I think one of the issues that most people have is because they're trying to sense energies using the limited 5 human senses. But actually energy is much, even if you cannot see, feel or smell it, it's actually still there, it's still existing, right? And most people have a very narrow perspective. And what you just mentioned, you can show through science, for example, cymatics, the science of making sound visible.
Wave phenomenon.
Yeah. So then when something tangible like this and physical and proven by science, it makes people be able to more experience it, better appreciate it as well, and then finally believe. Well, of course, it is better if they already have the belief, but it's a lot easier if you can show them the empirical proof.
And that's where I come from. I like to show a practical application.
Yeah.
Before I show anything, to me, I have a love for science. And unless you can actually replicate something and show it, it's just theory, and it doesn't benefit anyone. And as Ahana was mentioning there with healing devices, what I actually found is a lot of them I've replicated other people's work and made my own variations on it. But it's really just a mixture of what you call pulsed electromagnetic fields. Now they call it PEMF. And really all that is very similar to what people are doing with Reiki or other methodologies, but they're using their own energy or their heat to actually project their magnetic field into another person. So if we want to look at that scientifically, or how we replicate that, it's just you have a certain frequency of the magnetic field, like think of it like changing a radio station, and as we sit there and change the radio station or listen to a new song, we're actually projecting that information into the body. And that's what the body runs off. The body is really just essentially feeds off electromagnetic fields and frequency. So if you can actually get these frequencies right, you actually get the body into balance, into harmony. And there's different harmonics which play a role. And that's one thing which I found amazing about all the different healing methodologies. It doesn't really matter which way you're looking at it. Essentially, it's all the same thing. It's energy, it's frequency, and it's how to basically correlate them into the body to bring it into, I'd use the term equilibrium, because there's a certain frequency or threshold for everything.
Equilibrium, it's about balance. You know? And could you tell us, Daniel, some of the inventions, apparatus that harness this free abundant energy around us, can it be bought? Are they commercially available, or can someone make it themselves?
There is a lot of designs online, but with a lot of them, to me, you need to find a practical application. And the easiest thing for people to do is have a look at basically energy efficient circuits, or look at the biggest thing, which I think Nikola Tesla left for the world as well, is what he calls his bifilar coil. And that is pretty much the fundamental principle I try and use in all my experiments.
Yes.
Because you were talking about spirituality and blending the two worlds. Essentially, all energy is a combination of what you can call positive or male energy, and look at that as a clockwise spiral which is coming down.
Like a vortex.
Like a vortex, exactly. And then we have feminine, or what you call negative or cold energy, which is an anti-clockwise spiral coming up. So when you have this one spiral this way and one spiral this way, all the energy wants to come from the middle. Ahana would call it source or neutrality. We would call it what you'd call the blotch wall or the stillness in all energy. So once you get a balance of these three, it's really an energy pump between male and female energy. And as you expand and collapse the magnetic fields, you create an energy pump where you can extract a lot of energy. So a nice practical application for everyone to use this for is what you do is you have an additional coil to actually harness this energy and then collect extra energy on the other side. Because our conventional circuits now waste this energy. And if you look back at a lot of these patterns for free energy or energy efficient circuits, that's what they're doing. They're either pulsing energy at a certain frequency, or they're using additional coils to store the energy and then use it for another use. So an easy example would be put the energy back into the motor and make it run for twice as long. But what I like to do with my experiments is I actually have one input battery, I create the magnetic fields and then store the wasted energy on the other side. Or I can use a solar panel and actually amplify the energy and charge twice or three times the amount of batteries just by using this principle of male and female energy for simple terms.
Well, actually, I think your question was about if we can find it. There are innovations out in the market that you can go and
Can
find.
we get it from you? Can we buy it from you
But
guys?
I'm still doing the
we
research.
Are actually,
Yeah.
okay, what we do is when in our workshops, if anybody's coming to our workshops, we actually demonstrate this energy through a prototype that we've created. And with that, you can see the 0 point energy or chi by yourself,
Yes.
but you can interact with it. So we show how your interaction, because you have a certain
Yes.
frequency, the energy is he will set it to a certain frequency, to the Schumann resonance in his case. But when the interaction happens, the colors change. So you can at least see, when you're interacting with it, this is the energy is set at this frequency. This is coming from the environment. This is your resonant frequency. And so when you interact, what happens? And actually, when you're going through a healing process, it will show orange, but it will go back to the baseline frequency that he sets it.
Of green.
So, of green. So it's a good experimentation to see how you're responding, how quickly you can transform, and we have started bringing in intention into it as well. So how quickly that process can happen. So this we demonstrate. So we do have a prototype to demonstrate it, but it's probably not readily available in the market in that form.
But to answer your question, Luke, yes. If people really want this technology, get in contact with me. I have easy circuits that people can replicate, but you need to have a little bit of either intuition to practice or technical knowledge.
Yes.
But look, the research is getting done, and that's really my plan, is why I made the Sci-Meta project. We want to actually expand this technology and get it out there so it can be commercially available for everybody, or the plans are up there online. So
That's
if you want to
fascinating,
replicate it yourself, just do the work.
And like if you're doing color therapy or sound healing work, toning, working with instruments, working with frequencies, this is I think a great opportunity to contact us and see if we could do collaborative projects together. Because we're always
So where do you guys go to get funding for your innovations, inventions, and your research?
Essentially, at the moment, we've been doing our own companies, and even since I've been 20, it's like I'll work, I make as much money as I can. In my spare time, I put all that back into my research, and then now from our presentations, our workshops, our work with ASP as well, our other company, we funnel or siphon the money back from that back into my research.
So it's basically your passion, your pet project, basically.
It is.
But are you accepting donations? Let's say someone
Of
there
course,
wants
yeah.
listening to this and he resonates and he wants to donate to your cause so that more people have accessible free energy in the near future?
I would say stay tuned. What we're going to do at the
Yeah, we are
moment,
just
we're
gonna-
going to put up a crowdfunding campaign,
Yes.
and we're actually looking into this because it's come to the point now where if you want to have this technology faster,
Yeah.
we need to do more research.
research,
And
mm.
it's only so much I can do by myself, so I'd like to get a team on board to help
Yeah.
me. And as Ahana mentioned, we're already doing collaborations with people in different countries,
Yes.
and they're doing the same technology as us. So,
Yeah, so-
what we can do is speed this process up.
Yeah, so if you guys resonate with what you just said and you want to assist, right, either join the team or maybe make a donation to them. I think it's a worthy cause. It's excellent. I mean, this is what the human race needs right now. Yes.
There are three things that we will launch very soon. One will be the self-healing CD, so actually the proceeds will go towards
Like
research.
the Sci-Meta project.
We'll also be doing a membership. We'll be launching the membership very
Yeah, you
soon on
mentioned that earlier.
sci-meta.com. Yeah, and what that is actually gives you access to all of the webinars that we'll do based on all the research that we do. So that also helps the research. And then the third would be the crowdfunding that will come on. This is specifically for taking his research to the next level. So he's already created a prototype, but we need to scale it up for any kind of applications.
Yes.
So this is one of the big projects we'll be doing, and we'll also be starting the healing, working with other collaborators on healing and frequency projects. So these two projects will happen simultaneously, and for ASP, anybody who's
Yes,
taking
tell us
it,
about the Simple Path. What is it about?
okay, a simple path actually came about because we were doing workshops
Yeah.
based on coaching and changing the mindset. That's all. There's a lot of science to it. We were doing this under a program called Assess Your Life and in a workshop setting. But we started receiving a lot of clients, and we could not really handle it. Just because we just two people started that at the start. So we looked at a format through our own transformation and through about, I would say about 300 clients that went through over the last 4 to 5 years. We started collecting the data and creating a blueprint. So we created a blueprint. We started testing on clients both on personal coaching side as well as people who were starting up, so business coaching. And this blueprint started showing the transformation within somewhere between six months to about a year. So we created a 32 weeks program which we put online, and the idea behind the program was to create not only a structure that would help people, but also create a back-end structure of a company where trainers could come in, people could join, as part of the team. It would grow as a community. So everybody gets equal amounts for the personal coaching programs, the trainers, the people who sell, the coaches, the creators, everybody gets equal. And then portion of that would be actually sent back to the Sci-Meta project for research purposes. So this is how we created it, and we launched it. We follow a diamond principle in that. So we followed that principle, launched it in February of last year. And even before we put the website on, we started getting clients, we started getting collaboration. So we started seeing humongous changes and results with this blueprint. So that's how this program came to be. And and this is just our first. We just did our launch in Gale. That's why we're coming from Gale.
I
We
see.
did the launch last Saturday.
February the 7th.
That's awesome. Could you share with us as well some of the upcoming projects or courses or other assignments that you have upcoming in the next couple of months?
For the next 2 months, we've finished the Asian leg of our tour, so now we're heading off to Australia. We'll be doing workshops in the Brisbane, Sunshine Coast area, and then also we go down to Melbourne, and we will be back again in Asia by late April to May, is when we'll be back in Asia again doing workshops here.
Yeah, and for ASP, we will just launch something called a Success Boost Camp. This is our way of sort of giving people a kickstart into their own success this year. So it's going to be a 7-day free training series. It's done through a process of short interviews through speakers and friends that we have all over the world, from the US, from the UK, from Malaysia, from Singapore, Australia. And what we're trying to do is bring together this information based on topics. And so people, if they opt into this, to register for this program, they'll get 7 days of this free training. And this will also help them see where they are on their success path. And that's really what's motivating us to put this out. We want people to see where they are on their success path. We even have a free consultation on the website. There will be volunteers, certain number of hours per week to do these free consultations, but they're very detailed. So anybody can go and sign up for this free consultation. So that's really the motivation behind it. That's a project. And then when we come back, we're going to start restarting our spiritual entrepreneurship workshop, which we did it a couple of times here. It was a huge success. So we're going to do that. That's for spiritual entrepreneurs to look at how to structure their business.
That's awesome. These guys are so busy. So much going on for you guys.
Lots
You know,
going on.
you really do great work, and thank you for that, because we need more light workers like you guys to come and serve, aid the community. And you know, how can this audience, right, contact you guys for the consultation, for the CDs, to get in touch with you to find out more, to attend your workshops? Where can they go to find out more?
Okay, for ASP, the easiest thing for everyone to do is just either hashtag ASP to success or
On
type in
Google.
ASP to success in Google, and you'll find that's a link back to our website, to our Facebook, to our Twitter, and then our YouTube, which we're going to be doing for. But I'd say hold off until we do the Success Boost Camp, and you'll be able to access all that stuff. So sign up.
Yeah, ASP to Success you can get on our website, which is www.asptosuccess.com, and Facebook also, it's just facebook.com hashtag slash ASP to Success. It's very easy to find. There is a free consultation, which says free consultation on the page, so you can go and apply on it. We do get a lot of consultations, so we might take a little bit of time getting back to you, but we definitely go through each application that comes through. Yeah.
I'll also be placing these many links of theirs below this video, so please feel free to click on it and support them.
Yeah.
Right?
And Sci-Meta is www.sci-meta.com. On our Facebook is /Sci-Meta project, one word. So they can just go on to that. And Daniel is very active on the Facebook with Sci-Meta project. So a lot of articles go on that. So please go and access it. It's just tons and tons of information on the Facebook page.
If I'm either inspired by other people's work, or obviously all the research that I do myself, the work that I do with youth, everything's always posted, because I think the beautiful thing about every knowledge, it doesn't matter if it's ASP or Sci-Meta project, it's really to me about spreading the wisdom, and it's about getting people involved, and that's why I really love what you're doing about making these videos and getting them out to everyone, because it opens up a larger group of people.
Yes,
and,
and opportunities
it
as
does.
well. Yeah, and it spreads word, and people get educated. That's the point of it, about sharing and giving. Right. Thank you, both of you, Daniel and Hannah, for being on this video and sharing with us your love and your gift. And we look forward to having you guys in the future video. I would love to have you come in the future video and show us, demonstrate some of your apparatus and inventions.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching this video.
Thank
and
you.
please support these people. And we hope to have them again. And we look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Thank you.